Hi everyone. Today's video is going to have some incredible footage of a beautiful town here in Ecuador called Baños. It is two waterfalls that we saw in one day. One we took a cable car to, and you'll see that footage. And then the next one is this incredible waterfall that if you ever come to Ecuador, you must visit Baños. It is the most impressive waterfall I have ever seen. When we finished the day, I looked at my little app for the steps climbed and stories, and it was in 3 hours we climbed 41 stories. So it was incredible. We wore ourselves out good. Now there is an easier way to view those waterfalls, which we didn't find out about until later. There's these suspension bridges that you'll see in my video that I took of that massive waterfall, and there's a parking lot up there. So you can park at the parking lot, do your 10-minute walk up that suspension bridge, and you can see the whole thing, instead of having to walk the 41 stories that we did. But that was part of the adventure. So I hope you enjoyed this Midori Traveler's Notebook video today. I just took a couple of photos. The photos don't really do it justice, so I hope you really enjoy the video footage that we took. Thanks for watching. Today's Cricut tutorial is just a very basic cut file and how to make it fit onto your project. So what I've done is I've measured my page in my Traveler's Notebook. Since I have an embellishment there, I really only have about 6.5 inches long by about an inch tall. So what I do is first I just draw an image. First I create new project and insert shape, and I draw a rectangle to be about that size. So here I just selected square, and I'll unlock this little button down here, click edit. My width is going to be 6.5 inches and my height is about 1 inch. So that lets me know that when I'm writing these letters, that I can't go past this box that I've created right here. So the title is, you probably saw me try to write it out earlier, and I did not like how that ended up turning out at all. So I decided I want to cut out these letters instead from my Cricut. So I'm going to click Add Text, and I'm going to type out the entire title first. Now, first of all, I'm going to change it to system fonts so that it's one of the free fonts that I already have. Then I'm going to put it in here, and first of all, make it so that the width isn't any longer than that box itself. So now we know it can't be any taller than this, and it can't be any wider than this. So now I'm going to play around with some fonts and see which ones make this look a lot better than how it's looking right now. We might still need to adjust and shorten it. It may be stretched too much from top to bottom, but we'll see how it goes when we start playing with some other fonts here. Okay, I think I've determined that I do like this particular font, and it's within a reasonable amount of what I'm wanting to do size-wise. So I'm going to go ahead and delete my box now. I'm not going to want to glue down each and every one of these letters individually. So I'm going to show you how to use the weld technique. The first thing I'm going to do is ungroup all of these letters. What that does is it makes each letter manageable so I can move it around individually. First, we need to zoom in so we can see this better. So I'm going to move my mouse over here to the margin, hold down the Control button, and scroll up on my mouse. Ooh, that went too big. Okay, so now I can really see what I'm dealing with here. So what I want to do is I want these letters to barely touch and overlap each other. That way, when I highlight them together, just like this, click my right mouse button, select Weld. You'll see now this is one letter and one word. So I'm not going to have to glue the A and the L. I have them attached or welded together. So I'm going to do the same thing here, just barely going to overlap the R and the U, just to where it'll look like a nice smooth cut when they come together. Same thing with the T, barely touch the end of that U, and then the A, right there to the T. Group all these together, right click on my mouse, weld. And now these 4 letters create one word. So now I'm going to do that for the rest of the words. So after I welded them together, I saw that I had a little more room that I could stretch them out, and that allows me to make my font larger. So here I created that rectangle again to be 6 inches wide, and I'm going to go ahead and make it just slightly more taller than 1 inch. So it's more like 1 1/4 inches. And so that should fit well within my project. So now I'm going to delete this, and all I'm going to do is run some white cardstock through my Cricut. So I'm going to turn my Cricut machine on, click the Go button, and you'll see it'll rearrange the words to fit how it feels will fit the page best. My cardstock is 8.5 by 11, and so you can see here it is ready to go.
My paper up to my project, I can see that that title is going to fit just fine. My blade might be getting a little bit dull. You'll see the E has a little bit of a tinge in it, so I'm just going to real carefully remove these letters with this pick. That way I can make sure I don't tear the letters as I'm pulling them out. The pick is really good for the insides of the middle of these letters, especially if one doesn't cut out for you all the way. You can just gently pull it out and your word stays intact. For the larger areas, I like to use this one, and that I can actually pull up the main part without putting my hands on the mat too much. The rest of it seems to be a fairly clean cut, so now I can pull it off more so with the larger spatula. So you'll see what's nice about that weld feature is that even the finest of cuts of words like this, it all comes out all together, so you don't have to worry about gluing down every single letter. Next, I use a very fine glue pen. I use this Zig glue pen. I've had it for probably a couple of years now. Let me make sure my glue will come out. Go on the back of your letters, just in a couple of places, and then if you have a little bit of extra glue, you can go ahead and push them down. Another thing I like to use is my Xyron sticker maker. So here I just glued the title, La Ruta de las Cascadas, and I just didn't like my handwriting originally, so I went ahead and used my Cricut Explorer to cut out the title. I still did use my own handwriting to write the places, and I may still journal in here a little bit, maybe over here somewhere. So the river flows this way, and I hope you really enjoy the video footage that we took of this amazing waterfall. Thanks for watching.
So to give you a better idea of how the terrain and how things were laid out when we did this trip, we stayed over here in Baños. That's where the little tourist town is and where all the hotels and everything are. Then you cross this bridge. This is one of the oldest roads in Baños, and you'll go through all these little tunnels. It's a really neat drive. A lot of places, though, only one car can squeeze by at a time. It's a tiny road. So the first thing that we passed was this yellow tarabita, or cable car, and it crosses the Cascada del Agollán, and that is a double waterfall. So our tour guide, that one was pretty backed up, so he had us go over to this next one. So that's the one you'll see in the video. That is the red cable car, and that one is called Cascada del Manto de la Novia, so bride's veil. And now the day that we went, there was only one of these waterfalls going at that time. We were kind of coming out of the dry season at that point, so there wasn't as much water on this particular one. This entire road here, La Ruta de las Cascadas. So this entire route, there's about 12 different waterfalls. I believe this one right here is where they have some people who want to, where they climb down with the ropes. I believe that's the one there. Then that impressive waterfall that you're going to see where we climbed 41 stories, it's this one right here, Pailón de Diablo, or also known in English as Devil's Cauldron. That's because down here, it's a combination of 3 waterfalls that come down with such force that this is just, it's bubbling green and blue and foaming. It's just so powerful. It's incredible. So that's where we stopped. We didn't go much further. Further up is where they have the river rafting and things like that. But I just wanted to show you a good map of what all they have here in this little town called Baños.